All right, it is now 5:35 and we will call the Finance Subcommittee to order. And we're just gonna go right down the agenda. Thank you, Counselors Govan and Hurst for joining us today. Thank you, Bill, Pat, Melanie, Lindsay, Chris, Lisa, for also joining us today. So we are just gonna go ahead and get started with the December revenue and expenditure report. So Pat.
Thank you, Counselor Whitfield.
Welcome.
Sorry about that. That always seems to happen. Tonight you have the December revenue versus expenditure report. This is the exact halfway point of the fiscal year. A few things I wanted to point out is our local option revenue we receive 4 times a year in September, December, March, and June. And so far for meals tax, we've received 1.1 million, which is a $202,000 increase over the same period in fiscal year 21. Hotel motel tax, we received 163,000, which is a decrease of 88,000 from fiscal year 21 for the same period. At this point last year, we had received 251,000. And the cannabis local option tax, which is split 67% to the general fund and 33% to neighborhood stabilization fund. We've received a total of 706,000, 473,000 to the general fund and 233,000 to the neighborhood stabilization fund. On the expenditure side, we continue to monitor the gasoline expenses. They are 174,000 over this point. Yes.
I'm sorry. Can you go back to the cannabis numbers? I missed the total and the split.
Sure. The total amount so far this fiscal year is 706,000. And of that, 67% or 473,000 went to the general fund, and 33% or 233,000 went to the neighborhood stabilization fund.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm going kind of fast.
Okay.
In terms of the gasoline, we're monitoring that. That's quite an increase over last fiscal year. I'm going to work with the finance department. There'll probably be a transfer coming from reserve for contingencies to support the increase in this cost.
So the gasoline tax is an expenditure we pay?
No,
Or
it's,
something we select?
I'm sorry, it's just the gasoline expense, the usage of the gasoline.
Oh, and there was a increase?
Yeah, I mean, the price of gas has gone up substantially from this point last year, at least $1 a gallon.
It was last year at this time, and how much it is this year at this time?
Sure.
Do you have that?
We had also reduced some gasoline budgets last fiscal year because there was no traveling.
Oh, right.
So I think I want to say we reduced gasoline about 10% across the board.
Okay.
So between that and the increase in gas prices, it makes sense that we would probably have to move some money back in since everybody's pretty much back and traveling now.
Okay.
And to your question, Counselor, we've spent 482,000 so far through 6 months this fiscal year. And the same period last year, we had spent 308,000. So it's gone up 174,000 or 56%.
Okay. 74, 56%. Okay. Pat, and I hate to do this to you again. What was the other tax that increased from last year to this year that you said in the beginning? I was a little bit distracted because my stove is going crazy right now, but sorry.
The meals tax, which is the
Yes.
extra 0.75, the local option we have, that's so far we're at $1.1 million collected. And
And what was it
same-
last year?
the same period last year, it was at 901,000. So it's up 202,000 so far through 6 months.
Well, that's good. People are eating more,
Yeah, I mean,
eating out more.
right.
Yeah, because restaurants was closed and everything, so that makes sense. Okay. All right, and then you talked about hotel, cannabis, gasoline. Were those the only ones that you mentioned?
Yes, those are the highlights for this month.
And hotel motel decreased.
Yes.
Anything else you want to highlight?
No, those are the major points I wanted for December to make the council aware, especially the local option taxes, to see where we were.
Okay, what's the, where are we at overall? Are we up revenue, total?
We're at 51% of the budget, through 50%.
So right,
of the
right where
fiscal
we're
year,
supposed
so-
to be about?
Yeah, so we're doing well. I mean, the major revenue that hasn't come in yet is motor vehicle excise, which the commitment one will be going out, I believe, next month, where everyone will receive their excise bill. And right now, that's only at 15%, but once those bills go out, you'll see that amount climb significantly.
Okay, so what's our total revenue and what was it last year this time?
Our total revenue is 396 million. At this point in fiscal year 21, it was at 369 million. So we're up 26.4 million. The major increases in our state aid, which is approximately 17.2 million over last year, and that's mostly made up of Chapter 78 for the school department.
Okay. Okay. Counselors, any questions in regards to revenue and expenditures?
I don't have,
Are departments trending good with their spending?
Yes,
Chris is laughing.
they're
Okay.
very good at spending. So
But they're like on track, they're not going
Yes.
over, yeah, okay. So maybe Chris, but we'll find out.
Right.
All right, thank you. Law Department expense report,
thank you, Counselor Whitfield. I've been working with Deputy Solicitor D'Souza to put a report together that the council had requested as part of the $5 million appropriation that was approved for police misconduct. And I put a report together. Attorney D'Souza has reviewed it, and we really just wanted to see if this is what the council wanted. There wasn't a lot of expenses through December. Mostly transcribing services, but the specific expenses Attorney D'Souza can speak to. And then in terms of the format, I would just want to see if this is what you were looking for.
okay, did you want to share something? Share the screen, or you just want to tell us what the
do
expenses
you
are?
not have the report?
Did we get it?
It's included in the city council agenda packet. I don't think, Pat, did you send it separately?
It's its own item. So it
Oh,
should be
it's in the
attached
packet.
there.
Yeah, I don't have the packet up right now. I'm
Okay.
rushing from work, so I just pulled up the meeting document, so I don't have the full agenda. I can go back and look at it and let you know.
I can try to share my screen. It'll just take me a minute, Counselor.
Okay. Let me give you share abilities. All right, I shared it, I think.
Hmm. Here we go. Can you see that,
Yes.
Counselor? Okay.
Mhm.
So as Pat just explained, this was the first month that, December was the first month that we accessed the $5 million. And when you had authorized, the money, we agreed that I would come monthly to report out on it.
Mhm.
So, this seemed like a good way to start. The expenses in December were all related to transcription services for various depositions. So there was no settlements to review yet, but it is still the accounting against the $5 million. So you'll see that the total for that month was $1,118.65. They were all for transcription on various cases. Actually 3 are on one case and 1 is on another case. You might notice that that one was significantly less expensive than the others, and that's because we noticed a deposition of a witness who failed to appear. So this is an idea of what the report would look like going forward.
Yep, that looks good to me. I don't know if other counselors, Counselor Hurst?
Yeah, no, thank you, Attorney D'Souza. This is exactly what it is that I was looking for, extremely helpful. Will this be sort of a running tally from month to month? And then if so, if you could also tell us what is remaining after each month, that would be greatly appreciated. But seems like you've covered it all here.
Well, I can't take any credit for it. Pat did it, but
Thanks, Pat.
so Pat, can we do a running tally?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I'll just start with the appropriation and subtract the expenses and give an ending balance each month. My plan was to present the report the same, like when I would present the January revenue expenditure report, I'll also have a separate item for these expenses and do that for the remainder of the fiscal year. And then do a year-end report, hopefully in July. Depending on when the July meeting is, we should have the books closed in terms of expenses at that point, so we can get an ending balance at that point.
Love it. Thank
Are
you.
there any cases close to being settled?
Two have settled. Two have settled since since December. 1 settled in the beginning of January, and 1 settled at mediation last week. We're actually finalizing the paperwork on that one now.
Is this from December, Madam Chair? Sorry, this is, I'm sorry. Is that why we don't see the amounts of the cases that were settled? Yes, this is December. Got it.
Yeah, that's
As of December 31st. Got it. Okay.
So,
Thank you.
the other question that I had, if you'd bear with us, is we made an assumption that it would make sense to present this first in the finance subcommittee. And I guess I'm wondering if that's how you want us to do this.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you feel comfortable with. I like this. It's once we get used to it, it's just gonna be simple to go through, easy to read. And at the time, I'll just say we're not gonna go over the cases. We're just seeing what the numbers are. Well,
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, if at any time, if you want me to come and talk about the cases or specific cases, if we do it in time for us to go into executive session, that's fine.
Or we
but-
could do it in a, we can do it at a separate meeting. This is just gonna highlight the finances of the.
And so then I'll also sit through this part of the city council meeting tonight in case there are any additional questions, comments, or concerns.
Okay, about the transcribing, you can stay with us if you like.
I guess about the format or the reporting out.
Oh, okay.
I said I would be there to answer questions every month, so I wanna be a woman of my word. I know there's not much to ask about right now, but
We appreciate you, Lisa. You always do a great job and keep us well informed, so thank you for that.
thank you.
So you can stop sharing now and we'll move on to the bond, the big one, the big kahuna. The bond authorization for 8.1 million.
Good evening, councilors.
Evening.
Chris Signoli, DPW Director. The Finance Department has put together a bond at my request for a total of 8.1 million. 7.5 of that is for the DPW. We control the purchase of all the vehicles in the city with the exception of police and fire. So our request at this point is the 7.5 million. We as a city have not purchased any vehicles since 2018. And before that, it was 2016. So we've kind of fallen behind in the purchase of vehicles. We will be purchasing 93 vehicles out of the bond, split up assessors, 1 vehicle, TJ01, Echo Dev 2, Code 6, Parks 23, Facilities 20, and DPW 40. We will also be installing a GPS system in all the vehicles, and we will also outfit them with whatever they need to perform their job, such as a pickup that requires plow rigs, or if a pickup requires tool materials in them. So we have that all set up. The information for each of the vehicles, we have historic data, and we've gotten some quotes. And so once it is approved by the council, we will be ordering. Some of the materials, such as dump trucks, are now taking up to a year to receive. So the sooner we can get them ordered, some of them we may not even have for next season, but the quicker we order them, the more we can get some of them delivered.
I'm on the meeting. Okay, thank you, Chris. Sorry, my daughter is talking. to me.
No problem.
So I got the 7.5 for the vehicles. What was the remainder for?
It
Tools?
is 600,000 for the fire department.
Okay.
I don't know, Lindsay, if you'd be able to address exactly what they're getting in the fire. I'm not sure the.
I do. So the commissioner apologized. He can't be here tonight, but I told him I would cover. It's actually for staff vehicles, so it's not for any heavy duty equipment. And he will be purchasing a total of 12 vehicles for prevention, the training division, the arson division, a mix of staffing vehicles, pickup trucks, all pickup trucks.
Okay. Counselor Hurst?
Yeah, this is sort of out of my league, but are there any energy efficiency aspects to these vehicles that we're purchasing?
We are right now, the vehicles that we're purchasing are all standard vehicles. I am going through, one of the things that I'm doing at the same time is we are redoing our vehicle manual, and I'm working with Eversource and others about purchase of electric vehicles, what we can and can't purchase as far as certain types of vehicles with what we need them to do and power and things like that. And then working with Eversource on charging stations as well. So that's kind of the next step in the next order that we would do. And to try and figure out what we can get for these electric vehicles as well. The only problem that I see with electric vehicles right now becomes charging. And the difficult thing, for example, at DPW, we probably have 35 or 40 passenger style vehicles that are there every day between DPW and code, et cetera, et cetera. So they would need to be charged. So one of the problems that we're kind of trying to figure out how we fix that is, if you have 40 vehicles coming in every day that need to be charged, how's that going to get done overnight when you would need then 30 or 40 charging stations, which isn't kind of realistic. So we're trying to work through the kind of the logistics on that, but definitely leaning towards the purchase of at least hybrid vehicles. And that's what a lot of these end up being anyways, are hybrids, but moving towards some electric vehicles in future purchases.
So some of these are hybrid vehicles, you're saying?
Yeah, a lot of those smaller ones are. The Nissan Kicks, which we're leaning towards for some of the, you know, instead of like a Ford Focus, the Nissan Kicks, those are dual fuels. Or hybrid at a minimum.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Counselor?
No, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Now we're gonna move on to a fire safety equipment grant for $41,632.96. I think, okay.
Um, Did someone talk about the health services for the homeless grant? Number 3?
Oh, did I miss that one? Sorry.
Yeah, maybe. I'm sorry. I thought it was after the bond.
I don't see, I see the fire safety grant, mine.
You know what?
There was
Sue,
an amended, sorry, there was an amended agenda that was sent afterwards because it was a late submission on our end, so you might be seeing the old one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you
So
could do
this-
the healthcare one and then move to the fire safety one
Okay.
after that.
Okay, so this is a healthcare for the homeless grant. It's a competitive grant. The application is renewable every 3 years. It's a federal grant. The amount that we were awarded was $1.8 million, $1,808,333 to be exact. It is used to prevent episodes of homelessness within individuals and families. It services 3 counties, Hampden, Hampshire, and Franklin. It supports 26 full-time employees in HHS. And it is run out of 311 State Street.
Okay. Is it an increase or decrease to last year? Do you know?
I do not have that information in front of me, no.
Is Commissioner gonna be there tonight?
I do not know.
I believe she is, but I will confirm. Last we heard she was going to, but I'll confirm.
Okay, and if not, just if she's not gonna be there, can you get the amount from last year?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's usually around the same amount, but I will
Yeah.
get you the exact amount.
Okay. Thank you, appreciate that, Melanie. Okay, then the fire safety.
Okay.
is the next one I see on the agenda.
Yes, so this is a fire safety equipment grant from the Massachusetts Department of Fire Services. The amount awarded was $41,632.96. The department is going to use it to purchase personal harnesses, saws, and positive pressure ventilation fans. The funds are available to expend through June 30th, 2022.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Bills of a prior year from various departments. You kind of got them on here, but
So the bills of prior year, we have 4 bills of prior year totaling $11,159.40. And we're just asking to use the appropriation from FY22 to pay them.
see a lot of traveling up there. American Airlines, Delta. But I know people travel, it's fine.
Um,
Any questions, counselors? No, all right.
No,
Parks Department donation, $2,000.
Okay, this is a one-time donation to be used for Springfield golf courses. And it recognizes the Kilter Herfuth Family Charitable Fund in honor of Daniel and Lori Herfuth.
Okay. And then we got some smaller donations to the library. We're not going over those. We're not going over elder affairs. We're gonna accept that. We're gonna accept Springfield Library donation is $100. Let's move down to collective bargaining agreement ratification for United Food and Commercial Workers Union. I think that's you, Attorney Mahoney.
Yep, good evening, counselors. Bill Mahoney, Director of Human Resources and Labor Relations. I'm pleased to report that we have 2 contracts with the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, Local 1459. This group represents employees in the DPW, Parks, and Police Department, and they handle they're the motor equipment operators, motor equipment repairmen, cement finishers, laborers, and a bunch of other positions. The first contract covers the period of July 1, 2020. It's a one-year contract that goes to June 30th of 2021. The second contract is a three-year contract covering the period of July 1, 2021 to June 30th, 2024. There's a 2% wage increase for each year. The first 2 years, these are retroactive. We've done small increases in the tool allowance and in the boot allowance. We've added a 25 cent per hour stipend for employees that maintain a hoisting license. We've created a new program for the motor equipment repair persons that if they get their motor vehicle inspector's licenses, we give them a small bonus for that. We've increased the second and third differentials by.
Which license is that? I'm sorry.
Say that again?
What license do they have to get for the small?
Yeah,
bonus?
that's for the people that inspect motor vehicles. So there's
Oh,
two types of inspectors. When we all go to the garage to get it, there's a non-CDL inspector, and then there are CDL inspectors. And what this allows us to do is we don't have to send our trucks and our cars out. We can actually inspect them right at Tapley Street, which saves us a lot of money. So that was the idea of adding in these stipends.
Okay, so
then-
whoever passed this CDL inspector license get a bonus, is what you're saying?
Yeah, if you are a CDL inspector, you would get $500. If you are a non-CDL inspector, someone who just does cars and pickup trucks, you get $250.
Okay,
And then after that, we've added Juneteenth as a paid holiday to this group. We've changed the military leave language to reflect the ordinance.
good
that
for you.
The council adopted. Thank you. We've amended the maternity leave to track the Commonwealth's law on parental leave. And we made a few other.
Hold on, can you pause? The maternity leave, I thought we opted out of it.
No, that's a whole different thing. That's a paid family and medical leave, which.
Oh,
we're
that's
not a part of.
FMLA?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
and
correct,
this is
Council.
what?
This is just, there's a parental leave law that's on the books in Massachusetts now. So we've replaced the old language, maternity leave, with the parental leave language.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's really all the changes. Some
So
language.
FMLA stayed the same? we don't-
FMLA is the same. Yep, that runs concurrently with either maternity leave or parental leave. They really don't impact each other that much.
Okay. Any questions from counselors? So you said you got a tool increase and a boot increase. What's boot?
They get a boot allowance.
Oh,
So-
boot allowance.
We want them to wear steel-toed shoes so they don't get injured while they're at work. And you know,
Okay.
those boots get pretty expensive. They're pricey. So we've bumped that to $125 a year. And
Okay,
that should pay for a good pair of boots.
okay. So tool and boot allowance. Okay, I don't know what I had in my head, something different, but
The tool allowance only goes to the mechanics. They're the only ones that receive that. They
Okay.
have their own tools.
okay.
Yep.
All right. Mechanics, okay. Any questions from counselors on that? So the 2% increase, we're gonna have to go back and pay that for FY 20 to 21. Do we have a rough estimate on what that is?
We do. For the entire union, we're looking at probably about $200,000 or so in retro payments. You don't have any transfer orders in front of you tonight. The past few years, what we've been doing is just watching the departmental budgets that are affected by these settlements, because sometimes there's salary savings that can cover those costs. And towards the end of the fiscal year, if we do need to move money into the departments, we will come back.
Okay. But right now, you'll use what's in their department, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's good, that's good. Any other questions? That's how we do it in finance. Get in, get out. All right, so we're gonna call this meeting and we'll see you in a little while.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.